So for slavery or the slave trade, we went to Bunce Island. We spent some time there looking at the relics of the castle, and we had some somber, solemn moments, spiritual moments, and we went back to our hotels to sort of recapture, that we had lived on Sunday, December 29th. The very next day, actually the very same day, we drove after visiting Bunce Island to Makeni. The reason being, we were going to go to Kabbalah. We slept in Makeni, and the following morning we drove up to Kabbalah, to a place called Old Yagala, where Africans, Sierra Leone specifically, called where all the good guys speak to blind. So let me tell you, we brought a text of anything African preserved by a private family, American family. And they are also here tonight. It's Mr. Wilson Moran, and the Relaford also stand up. Was taken to America 256 years ago, or whatever, 250 to 300 years ago, was traced back to a village called Gullah on Saturday to spend a few days out there with our family. But we must start this program now. And I want to...
For prednisone. I'm just extra fluffy. Praise God. I said, hello, family. Say, we are family. All my brothers and me and sisters. Today, we have to decide whether or not we want to be mushrooms or oak trees. And so this is an oak tree here because it's been a spell. But here we stand. They tried to bend us, tried to break us. We bent a little bit, but they couldn't break us. Look at the tide that binds us across the ocean. Across all in that slave ship. They tried to break us, but we still here. In the cotton fields, they tried to break us, but we still here. The rice fields with the alligators and the water moccasins, and we're still here. We're still here. The whipping posts, we're still here. The lynching trees, we're still here. Even with 4-5, we still here. Need I say anymore? And I'm gonna leave it at that, praise the Lord. Well, we're gonna start with these babies. I see most of you all might have met them on TV. This is for me. And I graduated. So we're the class of 74. But I welcome these two babies. Sarah Makiba Days. Oh, and his beautiful wife. If nobody else should look like they're live, folks from US ought to look alive, up in this. I want to get no extra money to buy some more stuff.
Hey. A song by Sweet Honey and the Rock, and my mother has been playing it, and we have been singing it my whole life, and I feel that it perfectly celebrates the reason and purpose for this trip. It celebrates Sierra Leoneans, it celebrates Gullah people, it celebrates Africa.
The universe, who we are, for each other, for the morning star rises and sings to the universe, who we are. For each other, for the morning star rises and sings to the universe, who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and sons of great vision. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and builders of nations. We're seekers of truth, keepers of faith, makers of peace, and wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandmother's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each other, morning star rises and sings to the universe. Who we are. For each other, the morning star rises and sings to the universe. Who we are. For each other, rises and sings to the universe. Who we are.
The song was named Nobody Knows the Trouble I'm Seeing, but she just changed that. So I'm gonna ask my girl. That's all right. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Oh, that's all right. Since I know I gotta sit in the kingdom, that's alright. Oh, I've never been to heaven, but I've been told that heaven's streets are paved with gold. Since I know I got a seat in the kingdom, that's alright. Oh, that's alright. That's alright. That's alright. Oh, that's alright. Since I know I got a seat in the kingdom, that's alright. Oh, that's alright. That's alright. That's alright. Oh, that's alright. Since I know I got a seat in the kingdom, that's alright. You wonder why tears come into your eyes and burden seem to be much more than you can stand. But God is standing near. God sees the tears of a broken hearted soul. God sees the tears and hear them when they fall. And when grief have left you low, it causes tears to flow, and things have not turned out the way that you have planned. But God won't forget you. Tears are a language. God sees the tears of a broken hearted soul. God sees your tears alone with man, and he takes him by the hand. Tears are a language that God understands.
The born slaves singing with me. Sierra Leoneans were well known for growing rice, well known for growing rice, well known for growing rice. Slave traders sought them out and for them paid a higher price. They were skilled, they were not a born slaves. For centuries, they had labored in the rice fields with handmade tools. They worked in the rice fields, planting, harvesting, pounding in the rice fields. They were skilled, they were not born slaves. Their countries, but the size of South Carolina, the climate, but the same as in South Carolina, the land looking like home. When in South Carolina, they were skilled, they were not born slaves. Oh, Sierra Leoneans were well known for growing rice, well known for growing rice, well known for growing rice. Slave traders sought them out and for them paid a rise. They were skilled, they were not born slaves. The planters, they knew rice production. They needed workers who knew rice production. Sierra Leoneans knew rice production. They were skilled, they were not born slaves. Sierra Leoneans were well known for growing rice, well known for growing rice, well known for growing rice. And slave traders sought them out and for them paid a higher price. They were skilled, they were not born slaves. They were skilled, they were not born slaves. They were skilled, oh, they were not born slaves.
And all of the uncles, everyone would come home for the funeral from wherever they were. And when my uncles were at the kitchen table drinking out of these little cups, I didn't know what was in the cups. And it just amazed me that there was someone in the family that I had not heard of. As I got older, I kept asking and asking different people in the family, and I came together to put this story. Between my research and my hearing from other family members, I crafted the story of Bina. I'll tell you the story of Bina, and hopefully you'll come to understand who she is, why she is, and how she is to me, Veronica. Hannah been getting about that story about Bina. He be the one that 9 years old that been kicked out of yard. They say that day Bina been following Mama around foot to foot. Everywhere Mama been go, Bina been on him. Foot to foot, and Mama couldn't get nothing done. He been wash clothes in the yard. He been going to the house to take things and put them together. Bina follow him around. So he say, Bina, go out there in the yard and be by yourself. Everybody gotta know how to be by yourself, and you never be lonesome. So Bina go out in the yard and he been play around, and then Bina look up and he see a red cloth then hang from the tree. But his mama tell him don't leave the tree. So Bina been inch up, look back to see if his mama been getting him or see him what he been do. He move, he been inch up, look back at his mama to see if he see him. Inch up, and soon as Bina been reach up his hand, somebody grab him and put something on top of his head. Mama see him for roll, but he can't get to him. Bina mama been run, Bina, and all he can get is Bina to say is Mama. He run and Mama just, he can't catch him and he can't find him, and he get it, Bina voice been saying, Mama, and his mama say, oh, not my Bina. He falls down to the ground. Not my Bina. Mama. No. Not Bina. Oh, not Bina. Bina been yelling, Mama to cry, and Mama been yelling, Bina been calling name. And he get farther and farther away. And Bina been crying for his mama. And then through that thing that he been putting top of his head, Bina been see the moon been come up one time and it go down. It come up 2 times and it go down. It come up 3 times. Then that thing that been put up on wheel, and Bina and that gal look in each other's eye. They start to talk, but they can't understand what each other they say. But they talk with their eye. Bina see that gal to cry for her mama just like she gonna cry. And they talk with their eyes. And they ride together, and they ride together, and they ride together. And Bina and that gal been the same 9 and look about the same size. And neither one of them know what to do, and they hold on to each other. When they get to the place where the thing with the wheel and top them wheels stop, and they look, all the people can sit around just like they're gonna sit down. And being to see people that look like she run over or talk to them, and they ain't talk like she. That gal and being to look at each other, and they know that only one can talk with their eye. And then they go and they tell them to stand over there where all the women stand. And they go over and Bina look for his mama. Look at all the women in their eye. He look and they ain't see his mama. That gal been look like his mama, look for his mama. And they ain't see him. And they been talk through their eye. And they don't know what to do. That time down there together, I want them. And that man come over there and he have on some long coat and this long thing been hang from his mouth. Bina didn't want to go with him, and the gal didn't want to go with him. But they go, and he bring them together, and he tell them, say, Hunter belong to me now. All them gals cry, and they cry, and they cry, and they ride. He put them on top, and they ride to the water, and then they put them on top this other thing that been ride on water. And they ride, and they ride. 8 times the moon come up and go down. 8 times, Bina been counting them because their mama been teaching them how to count. And then they get to this place, and that man that had on that long coat and that long thing been hanging down from his mouth, tell him, say, get down. And they grow, and they grow. And Bina been make weed and been have blue hand from dye. That gal been a cook in the kitchen. But Bina and that gal stay friends all their life. That gal have 6 children. Bina have 7 children. And they lived together at Brooklyn Plantation until that gal died. And that gal, when he died, Bina cried. Oh, she cried. She ain't never been without him. And she cried, and she cried. But she go on. And Bina have 7 children, and one of them children been named Charlotte. And Charlotte have 5 children. And one of them 5 children named Dinah. And Dinah been married Jack Rutledge. And they have children. And one of them children named Lula. And then Lula have children. And Lula have Edna, Harriet, John, Matt, and Willie Mae. And that gal Willie Mae been smart. He moved to Conway when he been time for school, and he top of his class. And he married, and he had 2 children. One named Willie, he named after himself, and one named Veronica. And that's my story.
With her child held tight to her chest, she just flew away. Well, it was hot that day. It was so hot you could see the air dancing and wiggling in front of your face the way it does, you know. Josh was running fast. Josh was running across those fields, and he wasn't running like an old man. And as he ran, he began to say those wind words, those breeze words to those in the field who could fly, and those who could fly stopped working. and they stood up. And they came together and they joined hands in a great ring singing. Ring the bell of freedom. Ring the bell, so they say. Ring today, not tomorrow. Ring the bell. The overseer came running to stop the singing, but the singing began to get faster and faster. Ring the bell, let's go on to heaven. Ring the bell, so they say. Ring today, not tomorrow. Ring the bell. Ring the bell, that bell of freedom. Ring the bell, so they say. Ring today, not tomorrow. Ring the bell. And the circle began to move faster and faster and higher until it left the ground and they flew off like a great flock of big black birds to freedom, or so they say. The people who were left behind told that story, and they passed it on, and I tell that story, and they say, why would you tell a story that the people could fly? That's because the old people said they could. And now, even more than ever, I believe them.
No more auction block for me. No more, no more, no more auction block for me. Many thousand gone. No more pint of salt for me. No more, no more, no more pint of salt for me. Many thousand gone. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No more 100 lives for me. No more, no more, no more 100 lives for me. Many thousand gone. Many thousand gone. Many thousand gone. Many thousand. Free as a bird I would be. God done said to me.
Who always got some kind of money, but you ain't never see go to work? They a hag. Now, hags are known for shedding their skin at night and tormenting people in their sleep, riding their chest in their sleep. That's why you feel like pressure on them. So there was a lady on the island who thought her neighbor was a hag. Reason one, because she ain't never seen her neighbor go to work. And reason two, because she ain't like her neighbor no how. So one day she said to herself, I'm gonna prove my neighbor is a hag. So she devised a plan. She said, I'm gonna wait one night when my neighbor not around, and I'm gonna sneak in her house and just see what I can do. She saw some salt. So okay, she went into the bedroom. She peeked in the closet. Wasn't nothing there. She said, okay. Maybe I'm overthinking this. So she turned to walk out, but right before she turned to walk out, she said, let me check in the bathroom. She looks in the bathroom, sees skin ain't no because the skin had been salted. So when the sun rose all the way to the top of the sky, the little lady came back to the house. She looked in the bedroom, and there was her neighbor, dead on the floor. Now that's a story that was told to me. I mean, I ain't never seen no hag. Have y'all seen a hag? You seen plenty hags? Well, I'm not coming to your side of town. But yes, that is the story of the boo hag. Thank you.
Journey on. Honey telling me come this far, me find no fault. Tell me come this far, me find no fault. Me feel like journey on. Honey telling me come this far, me find no fault. Me feel like journey on. Tell me come. Now you know we ended up at the Old Yagala village, top of the mesa. He didn't take this thing just sitting down. He had warriors that fought. Ingenuity is nothing new. All this modern technology they talking about like this, that's new to us. Ain't new to you people. Might be new to you people, but not we people. Recycling? Ain't. Let me tell you something. Europeans, they had to end on his continent here, tried to snatch me off to be enslaved people all over the world. Queen Nzinga said, not on me watch. But you had some attitude, girl. No, son. She was what we call a warrior queen. Yes, sir. She didn't play. She wasn't one of them queens, you know, like Queen Lizzie. Tell your neighbor, say, Say wrong answer. She was a warrior queen. She didn't send her warriors into battle. She led them into battle. She was a master of guerrilla warfare. Had the Portuguese so upset, I tell you, didn't know which way to turn. I tell you, every once in a while when they thought they had her back up against the wall, Queen Nzinga just played dead. They did, Queenie. That's how she did. And before they could get back and go to Governor Phillips said, we got Queen Nzinga, Papa like it drop, better like cool, Y'all excuse me, y'all pray for me. But before they could say all of that, before they could get there to Governor Phillips and say, Governor Phillips, she did, Queenie would pop back up and say, I'm back. I'm back. Well, poor Governor Phillips got to scratching his head. Said, Lord, I must work with this guy. They couldn't kill her. Now when everybody go, say not at all. They said her loyal subjects got down on four and made a human throne for the queen to sit on. And said when she would get up, the next loyal subject would say, please, 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 may I have the honor of serving the great Queen Nzinga. She couldn't be bought. They couldn't kill her. Up until age 60, she led her horse into battle. Lived to be 81 years old. Queen Nzinga of Angola resisted the transatlantic slave trade. Everybody say, hail Queen Nzinga. Thank you, Queen Nzinga. Oh, yes, sir. Well, now, we soon found ourselves in the belly of that slave ship. 5 to 8 weeks doing that Middle Passage vote. Food rotten, water contaminated, bones broken, meat being peeled off of backs, 18 inches just from where your bottom sits to the floor. That's all space you have. Yes, sir. They said that even when they would, the captain once said this by the name of some John Newton, somebody from England, said he was carrying this human cargo over to the Americas. Him along with his white crew members and his black cargo were sure to perish. But by some, but the tune, pure West African, that he'd heard moaned and groaned in the belly of the slave ship. Oh. Almost 40% of you perished before ever reaching the shores of the Carolinas. Bleeding to death. Arteries being severed by broken bones. Dysentery. just survived. I don't know what I thought before I went through the spiritual rebirth. But I realize now this thing called transatlantic slavery is not around. I was lost. But now I was blind to the pain and suffering of fellow human beings. But now I see. By the time he reached the shores of the Carolinas, he gave up his old career as a captain of a slave ship. And he took his own personal finance and bought the freedom of his human cargo and went back to England and into the ministry and worked to abolish this thing called slavery. But now, here we are. On this plantation of beautiful South Carolina. My boy said, "Mammy, you hear that thunder?" I said, "Boy, there ain't no thunder there. There ain't no thunder, boy." He said, "Mama, but there is." I said, "Boy, that's the sound of it." Oh, ask your neighbor. Say, "Neighbor." Oh, neighbor. Say, "Where you been at?" December 20th. Hush yourself. Don't you hush at me. Because when I heard that fool man say, if that tall, leggy boy by the name of Abraham Lincoln, if him is elected president this year November of 1860, South Carolina gonna see that to you. I said, what kind of seed he talking about? Watermelon seed? Tomato seed? What kind of seed? What seed he talking about? Don't ask myself. Is it no pretty? They talk about it gonna start their own country. I said, shut up with that fool thing up in here. I done tell y'all, don't let master drink so much of that liquor there. You know it's fool anyway. What kind of start the old country? How you gonna get an old country? God ain't making no more land. Now unless he gonna die and he gonna go dust to dust and have it. He'll use his dust instead. But otherwise, I don't know what kind of land he gonna have ever there. Right in the wee hometown of beautiful South Carolina, just 60 miles south of Charleston. As South Carolina became the first state to see for the youth. But 5 months later, tell your neighbor, and it was on. It was on. On that 5 months later, April 12th. Oh yes, sir. That General Beauregard of the Confederate Soldiers of America gave the command for them young cadets of the Senator of the Fire on Fort Sumter, and the Civil War had started. Well, you know back, you remember when I told you about December 20th? I started packing up my stuff. Oh no. Everybody said, where you going, Pearl? I said, I'm getting ready to come get out here. I'm getting ready to go. I felt it all through my sanctified soul. The freedom was coming. I had one for the shoe, I packed that. I had one dress, I packed that. I packed that, yeah, I sure did. I had 2 teeth, I packed them. I sure did. I said I wasn't gonna left nothing here on this plantation when I get up out here. I had a cat and ready to go. So when the 12 came, I still had it back. Now, y'all got April in your head, say May. So on that side over there, the other head side of that body water was Fort Beauregard. On this side over here, right over there, y'all see right there? That's Fort Beauregard. 2 Confederate forts. So when them 77 Union ships came, they did a little thing called boom, reload, boom, reload, boom, boom, reload. Said boom, reload. And then after 4.5 hours of bombarding those 2 Confederate forts, all the Confederate soldiers evacuated. Peter said, Bubba, they're about to kill us up here. What is us gonna do? Bubba said, I don't know what you gonna do, Peter. But I'm gonna skedaddle out here. That day, the colored folks called it the day when the big gun went to shoot. The white folks call it the day of the great skedaddle. The historians call it the Port Royal Battle. We call it the day of Jubilee. that we were the first set of blacks to be free out of slavery was in Beaufort, South Carolina. That's where our Gullah story begins. So, resistance, we've been doing that a long time. And long after that, we had this young sea captain by the name of Robert Smalls. Yes, sir. Now his mama, Lydia, was in Beaufort County. All the other places in South Carolina around Beaufort County, black folks were still enslaved, and they were in enslaved states. Beaufort was the real Wakanda. Right in the middle of all that Confederacy, here you had this free place where black folks were starting their first town, Mitchellville on Hilton Head. One of the first schools, Penn School, for newly free blacks. You had your first war hero, General Robert Smalls, who was working in Charleston with his old Confederate captain, and the captain decided to go. Now, I didn't mean that Robert wasn't in it. You know, dreaming. He just knew you had to. So in that particular day, that boat, but they wouldn't call them colored boys. Apparently they called them a wheelboat. Only white folks could be. Landmines were in Charleston Harbor because it was him and the other black crew members that were given the order to put them out. He knew the landscape of the land. He knew the currents, all that stuff. I don't care what you call me, wheelboy or pilot. I don't know what I know. So when he heard that the captain and the white crew members wouldn't come back on board with this, and he knew they had just loaded up the plane with ammunition to reinforce two Confederate forts, loaded up. Said load it down. Tell your neighbor, said load it down. Said load it down. Oh yes, sir. So he, about 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I forgot they had no long clock. He's all out of that thing. And he had told his wife, he was 17, so y'all do the math. Is that not a cougar? The real cougar. And she knew he could handle her. Yes, sir. He said, ooh, he could handle this. He told Hannah, said, Hannah, baby, listen here, it's a little too dangerous for you in the church. But when I get the freedom, we'll come back and get you. Hannah put her hand on her hip and said, boy, you didn't read the book of Ruth. Where you go, I go. Where you lay your head, I lay. You ain't nothing me. So they had Hannah and the other wives and the children wait on the side of the river. And Robert out. You know, just sit on down there, read Robert real quick. Robert got in the captain's seat, put on the captain's jacket, the captain's hat. Yes, sir. He's got a wheel in his house. And the rest of the captain, the rest of the crew members pushed away from the water. Yes, sir. Real quiet life. And Robert had gone through so many times. I don't know why they didn't.
Blow you whistle and follow me.
Now that's one. We got one more hero we want to introduce y'all to. Y'all know Minty. Araminta Ross. Well, most of y'all know her as Harry Tubman. But her mama, Big Red, and her daddy, Big Ben, named her Araminta. Born in Memphis. Yeah. By the time that gal was about 6 years old, she was out there working in the field right along them men like anybody else. Little old bitty thing, you think? But they ain't stopping. Harry didn't blink. No, she didn't. Yes, sir. Well, one day an overseer saw this young buck. Said something to young buck took off running. Told Harry to stop that boy. Instead of stop that boy, Harry stepped in the ring. Yes, he did. That overseer grabbed the big old hand, throw at that boy, but instead of hitting that boy, hit Harry.
You turn back and kill you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, get down, boy, get down. Yes, sir. They got the gal and dad, take her back home to big bed, bring him over to me. I bathe that gal head, I pray over, and what I did, I pray over my gal. Then he opened his eyes. Then he opened his eyes and said, before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave. To my Lord and be free. Yeah, but she didn't take that. Well, she met with her own joker. by the name of
Amen.
Trouble will be
Over when we see Jesus. Trouble will be over. Amen. Oh, I see Emmanuel. Amen. I see Emmanuel. Amen. I see Emmanuel. When we see Jesus, trouble will be over. Amen. Yeah, we jump for joy. Yeah. Amen. We jump for joy. Yeah. When we see Jesus, trouble will be over.
Let me see the lighthouse. Amen. We see the lighthouse.
Amen. We see the lighthouse. When we see Jesus, trouble will be over. Amen.
Oh, no more lashing.
Amen.
No more lashing.
Amen.
No more.
When we see Jesus, trouble will be over.
Yeah, trouble will be over.
Amen.
Yeah, trouble will be over.
Amen.
Yeah, trouble will be
Over. When we see Jesus, trouble will be over. Amen.
all right. Queen Nzinga, Gloria Jackson. Come on, Susie K. Taylor.
tonight. It's the Wilson Moran and the Rutherford and it's called Gullah. And I want to introduce to Gullah country 2020 to see.
But some folks thought she was up. She pushes back the door.
We had boys there. Lizzie.
Which we hope to show you guys next year. But also